welcome to another Lunch and Learn from Roofers Coffee Shop. My name is Heidi Ellsworth, and this Lunch and Learn series is all about you, all the roofing companies that are out there, all of you watching right now. We want to bring great information to you that's educational and that you can kind of incorporate into your daily work within the roofing industry. Here's what we're going to be talking about: the next generation of liquid applied roofing. I have been able to tour and visit Tremco several times, and I am always amazed at the innovation of this company and of the product managers and what they bring to the table and how they're really changing the face of roofing. And what we're going to talk about today, this new product AlphaGrade, is really going to show you the incredible innovation. So the learning objectives today for everyone out there is going to be restoration of gravel roofs, self-leveling liquid applied system, and we're going to talk about AlphaGrade, and the importance of innovation. So let's get started.
My name is Josh Bull. I'm a product manager for our liquid applied product line here at Tremco Roofing. I have spent time with Tremco as well as with Republic Powdered Metals, who is a sister company, for a number of years. My time within the industry has been solely with those two companies, and I'm about 16 and a half years in now. So I didn't think I would be here when I started, but I think that's the case for a lot of people in the industry. They find a home. So I live in Ohio and have a family here with two young daughters. So I'm hoping they don't crash the party here today. So.
Well, if they do, it's okay. It's Roofers Coffee Shop. We
Yep.
like to have everybody. It's a community. Josh, there are some challenges around the restoration of gravel roofs. I've walked a number of them, and I know how hard it is. Can you kind of talk about what those challenges are for contractors out there today?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And you're 100% correct. It's unlike any other substrate really within the industry. I think it really kind of starts with the ability to clean the roofs. It's not like your traditional substrate where a standard pressure wash or power wash usually will do the trick. In this case, obviously, you have the gravel or aggregate aspect there where you would need to remove the loose gravel. So, hydrovac or some type of wet vac is your standard method for cleaning these roofs. They also, because of that aggregate, tend to be a lot more dirtier than say your standard membrane. Along with that aggregate, you also have a surface that retains moisture. So moisture issues and trying to monitor moisture can come into play as well. Typically, these gravel roofs we say low slope roofing. These are very low slope roofing. And in a lot of cases, especially with pitch roofs, they're designed to have no slope, right? So getting proper drainage is something that can come into play as well. As far as the application, a unique challenge especially so for liquid applied products, is that you have a very uneven surface profile. So even taking off the loose gravel leaves you with a profiled roof that you're going to have a lot of peaks and valleys and a lot of contour to that. And then on top of that, your standard challenges with roofs where you have overall poor conditions, neglect sometimes, all that is factored in and has to be taken a look at on the front end of a project.
Yeah. And the restoration of those kind of gravel roofs, it is so important because it doesn't always have to be torn off. And that saves, the environment and time and everything else. But what have contractors traditionally done with gravel roofs?
Your standard options are going to be one of three. One would be a tear off and replacement with a new roofing system. You could also, if you have just a single, gravel surface build-up roof you can look at retrofit options, where you'd install a cover board, possibly additional insulation if you need to bring up R value, things like that. And then, some type of a system over the top, whether it's a single ply or multi-ply system over that, or you have restoration options like you said. So from the replacement and retrofit side of things, you have a new roofing system, but with that comes certain obligations or factors that then start to come into play. So you have disruption to the facility. It's a lot more disruptive than your standard restoration. You have higher, life cycle cost over the course of that time. Limits your future roofing options as well, where at the end of the service life of that roof, you're then limited to tear off or possibly restoring if you're still in a condition where you can do that. You could add weight in the case of retrofit to the existing building structure. So there's a lot of things. And you mentioned the landfill, alterations may need to be made to raise flashing heights, promote, more drainage, things like that. So there's a lot of things that then come into play with those types of options. From a restoration standpoint, really, I always kind of ask people if they've seen the movie Shawshank Redemption. Do you remember the scene where Andy and his buddies get to go up and get do the roofing project at the prison there?
Yes,
Um,
yes.
that's actually them doing a reset on an old built up roof system. And to be honest, the restoration options for these products or these types of roofs haven't really changed a whole lot since then. So
Wow.
there have been some things here or there, over the course of the years, but you're looking at flood and then, reapplication of gravel or some type of aggregate. Typically, these products, a lot of them are either asphalt-based emulsions, or you have resats that are kind of have gone by the wayside, but there's still a few out there. But at the end of the day, those options don't eliminate the gravel. They have limited performance life. They're not really a long-term solution that can then be added onto and potentially maintained and extended beyond that. There was a need for some type of a long-term restoration option for these gravel surface buildup roofs. They are a very good roof system, but like any roof system, at the end of the day, it gets to a point where something needs to be done to continue on, the performance that you need there. So we needed to try to target something that can offer a long-term, performance life, and then also offer future options for restoring recoat options that you can then maintain and continue to extend that application further out. So we looked at a lot of different technologies, and ultimately we set our goals on developing a high performing urethane option. So we have a 3-coat system with our AlphaGrade that consists of an AlphaGrade leveling coat, a base coat, and a top coat option after that. And really the 3-step system is kind of in line with the redundant roofing aspect of the build-up roofing that we're applying this to. So multiple layers of waterproofing that offer you added performance over time. The other goal that we wanted to achieve was the ability to lock in the gravel. So loose gravel and aggregate can become an issue as far as becoming windborne and potentially cause problems, especially along coastal areas. Gravel surface roofs are still in those areas, although they're being phased out. But this offers an option that they can go in and be able to restore that and eliminate that as a potential issue. And along with that, something that would offer all of our restoration benefits of maximizing the service life of the existing roof, lowering life cycle cost, offering sustainable options that are sustainable in the actual formulation and design of the product.
That is the future. Building owners are asking for it. They're really looking for these solutions that help to maintain and extend the life of the roof. I just think it's so important. One of the big parts, obviously, of this is that the first level, which is self-leveling. So can you talk to us a little bit about the importance of this self-leveling aspect as you're restoring these roofs?
Yeah, absolutely. You have an uneven profile where you have some aggregate or gravel that's left embedded, some that's been removed. So in some cases, you have areas of almost a smooth like surface. In other areas, you have embedded gravel that could have peaks upwards of even a half an inch at times or more. So we really wanted to have a product or develop a product that would allow the waterproofing to seep into all of the nooks and crannies of that uneven profile. I hope Thomas English Muffins doesn't get upset that I use their nooks and crannies line, but you you really need to have a consistent and uniform application of that waterproofing layer, and also allows you to lock in that embedded gravel.
When you think about all the different levels that's going to go and how the curing and everything, I mean, that's pretty amazing. For those out there who may be wondering, like, where did the gravel go? Why are there some smooth areas and there's some gravel in there? Can you talk a little bit about the prep of the roof before the leveling base goes on?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's start at how these gravel surface build-up roofs are installed. So you have your 3 or 4 ply multi-ply system that's installed with an interply adhesive or hot asphalt, something along those lines. It's an asphalt-based product or system, so you can't just leave it exposed. At that point, you can either coat it with a reflective coating that would protect that, or you can then install a flood coat and gravel layer, and that gravel provides the UV protection, environmental protection for the underlying asphalt. However, over time, you start to lose mill build of that leveling coat. You start to just kind of weather that surface away. And with that, then the embedment of the gravel then becomes lost as well. So as you're losing the flood coat, you're losing the embedment of that gravel, and you start to have areas of loose gravel. The preparation, by doing a wetback, you're not only cleaning the surface, but you're also removing any of that unembedded or loose gravel from the substrate.
So once the wet vac or the vacuum cleans the roof,
Yep.
then that's when the base level comes in. Talk a little bit about the technology behind all three coats, right? You're leveling your base, your top coat. There's some special technology I know behind that, and really how Tremco has developed their coatings that are just pretty spectacular. I'd love for you to share some of that.
Yeah, absolutely. All three of these products are based on a two-component bio-based polyurethane technology, a type of technology that we have used in other product lines within Tremco. Obviously, this is a unique situation, a unique application and substrate. So the two-component aspect of that product is going to allow for a more reliable, and in the case especially so, the leveling coat, a faster cure. So when you're applying a product at very heavy application rates, the curing process and time becomes a major factor with the elements and application, obviously, and also having something that's going to be a reliable cure as well, that may not have solvent entrapment and things along those lines is going to come into place. So that was a key feature that was needed, probably more so on the application side of things. These products are 100% solids. So whatever you apply wet, you're going to get that same thickness or mill build in dry waterproofing. So you're not losing anything due to evaporation during the curing process. The products are also virtually odorless. So it's a very huge feature for counts and building facilities where you can't shut down operations, right? So hospitals, operating rooms, occupied facilities, manufacturing where they run 24/7 and cannot shut down operations, things like that. Schools typically have events happening even year round these days. So it's really ideal for those types of accounts where that becomes a very important feature during the application process. And then the sustainable features of these products are really kind of the unique, I think. The bio-based technology offers a rapidly renewable type of product where we aren't relying on petroleum-based products that are mined from the ground or minerals that are mined from the ground. We're using plant-based technology to develop these products that can be planted and harvested every year. And the coverage rate is going to have a bit of a range there for this system. But, for our average types of coverage rates, you're looking at about a 55% bio content for the entire system, and that carries through all the components. So It's a very high content when you look at the USDA biopreferred program for roof coating or this type of product would require a 20% level to achieve their certification. So we're more than double that, which was
Yeah.
I think a huge undertaking and achievement here. So another sustainable feature is that the leveling coat itself has a post-consumer crumb rubber. So there's a recycled content of about 30%. And then like, many of our other liquid applied products, we offer a highly reflective white top coat that's going to help with energy usage and cool down rooftop temperatures. And the reflectivity on that is going to be in the mid 80s and an SRI value of about 105 to 106. So it's a pretty good numbers on the reflectivity front.
And that can be maintained and cleaned and recoated years down the road. And so you now have this extended life of a roof just that is incredible.
Our innovation process begins at the customer and contractor level. Our company has always been problem solvers. So we really look to drive, our new product initiatives, our services initiatives at, how can we develop product that's going to make life easier for and better for the customer, for the contractor that's installing our products.
I would love to hear a little bit of the feedback you're hearing from customers, especially around the innovation and the sustainability. I think it's incredibly important to our customers, our building owners, like you said, hospitals and schools. But what are you hearing?
Yeah, I would 100% agree. In my time, I've kind of seen at least, one or two waves of sustainability come through the industry. And in the past, it kind of seemed like, there would be a huge groundswell or interest in, sustainable options and driving that. And then, a few years later, it kind of settled down and kind of went back to more traditional methods. But here recently, I think it really seems to be, something that's taking hold. And I think not only, building owners are asking for it or calling for it, but other people within the industry, whether it's manufacturers, the design community, there's a lot of demand for sustainable options, options that are going to be, responsible for all of us environmentally moving forward, not just at the install, not just after it, but, in years moving forward. How can you do this the right way and maintain and reduce landfill, do all those good things
Right.
for a long term period.
Period. And it needs to happen. It needs to happen for our environment. But I think also as we look forward to the millennial generation that is coming up, they're demanding it. And so as you see more purchasing agents, more leadership in these businesses, so for contractors out there, for all these companies, as you're thinking about this, these are the type of innovations you need to be talking about to your customer base.
Yeah, absolutely. I would 100% agree.
Yeah.
That it's gone from we would like this to we need this, right?
Right. Right. And then
Absolutely.
and it's not too far down the road we demand this.
Yes.
Right. And you guys are already there. You're ahead of it. And I think, as we talk about why this is important to the roofing industry overall, too, is that it really puts us into a place of respect within our customer base. And the innovations that you and your team and all of Tremco and CPG are bringing to the forefront, I feel raises the respect level and the professionalism of the industry.
Well, thank you. I think yeah, absolutely. We set our goals on being trendsetters and trying to lead. And so I'm hoping that we're doing that and what we're doing day in and day out here.
And I have to say, congratulations on the launch. You just are launching this now. As this Lunch and Learn comes out, the product will have just been launched. And so congratulations on that.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's been a process, as I think a lot of these development projects are. You learn a lot, and it's been good. And we're all very excited that we've reached this point, and we're getting out into the field with this product and system here officially. So we're definitely excited and looking forward to the rest of the roofing season here to see how we do.
Congratulations, and thank you so much for being here and sharing all of your wisdom and knowledge on this Lunch and Learn. And thank you all for listening. Be sure that you're filling out your discussion sheet. Lots of great information, some really great nuggets today. And be sure you're taking that picture of your group and sending it to us so that we can possibly buy you and your team lunch next time. This Lunch and Learn, the learning objectives, as I said, can be downloaded with the video, and we appreciate having all of you every month on the Roofers Coffee Shop Lunch and Learn. We'll see you next month.